Hello everyone and welcome back to the offline video series of Biology of Class 6. So today in this video we are going to start with a new topic, allergy. Before that I want to tell you that in previous offline part of this subject biology we have started with a new lesson and the name of the lesson was health and hygiene. So in that previous part of offline video we have studied about what do you mean by health, what do you mean by diseases, which are the types of diseases, that is communicable and non-communicable diseases. Apart from that, we have studied about different types of non-communicable diseases which causes because of some kind of germs and microorganisms. So the types of diseases were dietary deficiency diseases. In that dietary deficiency diseases, we have studied about three main subtypes, that is proteins, minerals and vitamin deficiency diseases. Now, in this video, we are going to study about the next type of non-communicable disease, that is allergy. So, what do you mean by allergy and how it takes place? That we are going to study in this video. So, allergy is a kind of unpredictable reaction which takes place on a body because of a particular substance which is known as allergen. So many people are having the allergies of different substance which they use in their day-to-day life. So some of the common examples which acts as the allergens or which are the major source to cause allergy or reaction on the body are spores, pollens, dust, some of the cosmetic items, some medicines, etc. So these are the various things which we often use in our day-to-day life, knowingly or unknowingly, and because of these, rashes or allergies takes place on the body. Some of the common body parts which are affected by this allergy are respiratory passage, digestive passage, nasal passage, etc. Diarrhea, vomiting, asthma are some of the allergic reactions which takes place because of this substance.
An allergy is an overreaction of the immune system to a normally harmless substance called an allergen. Common allergens include pollen, animal dander, down feathers, mites, chemicals, and a variety of foods. On first exposure, the inhaled allergen enters the mucous membrane lining the nasal passages, where it is taken up by the antigen-presenting cell, which presents it to the T cells. These T cells activate the B cells to release substances called IgE antibodies against the allergen. These IgE antibodies sit on the surface of the mast cells. The mast cells have granules containing chemical mediators like histamine and prostaglandins, etc. On exposure, the allergen binds to the IgE antibodies present on the mast cells, cross-linking them. This results in the release of histamine, prostaglandins, and other mediators into the surrounding tissue. These mediators cause dilation of the surrounding blood vessels and increase their permeability. This results in the nasal stuffiness, sneezing, and mucus discharge of allergic rhinitis. Antihistamines work by blocking the action of histamines at its receptors and thus decreasing the body's reaction to the allergen.
The next type of non-communicable disease is diseases which are caused because of some physical and chemical agents. Sunburn, heat stroke are the examples for the diseases which are caused because of some physical agents. Physical agents means some factors which are responsible to cause the allergy naturally in the nature. Chemical agents which causes diseases are potassium cyanide, snake bite, some poisonous snakes, etc. Let us perform an activity in order to understand more about these diseases. So here is the activity. In this activity you have to play a game of matching some of the deficiency diseases the kind of nutrients which are concerned with it, and the rich dietary source of these nutrients. So for this activity, you have to take 16 pieces of chart paper of same size of playing cards. Divide them into the set of 3. That means each set will have the 6 cards. Write the names of common deficiency diseases on one set of 6 cards. On the other set, you have to write the names of nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. And on the third set, you have to write the name of natural sources of each of these nutrients. So here is an example of 3 sets of cards, on which the first set consists of the name of diseases, the second set consists of the deficient nutrients, and the third set consists of the food source through which we will get that particular kind of natural source. Now you can paste these cards on the board piece or on the discard playing cards. You can play the games as single also, or in the group of 2 or 3 students as well. Distribute all these 3 cards of each player and keep the remaining cards facing into the downward direction on a table. If by chance any player is getting the set of correct 3 cards, then that person is considered to be the winner. You can keep repeating the turn among the players one by picking up each card from the table. So, the next topic which we are going to study now is spread of communicable diseases. In our previous part of this series, we have already studied what do you mean by communicable disease. Still in this part, once again we will revise. The diseases which spread from an infected person to an healthy person through any source of media, such diseases are called as communicable diseases. There are various reasons to spread these communicable diseases. For example, if we come in the contact who is already infected with a particular kind of infectious disease. Apart from that, if a healthy person is using the clothes, towel, comb or any cosmetic item of infected person, this can also lead to suffer through that particular kind of diseases. Apart from that, distance should be maintained from the person who is being infected of any kind of communicable diseases. So, there are various sources through which these communicable diseases transfer from one person to other person. For example, germs, viruses, bacteria, worms, etc. So simply these media or this source through which various communicable diseases are transported are known as pathogens. That means worms, microorganisms, viruses, bacteria are known as pathogens. So in this lesson, we are going to study about 4 different ways through which communicable diseases spread. So they are diseases caused by worms, diseases caused by bacteria, diseases caused by protozoa, and diseases caused by viruses. So let's start with the first topic, diseases caused by viruses. Cold is a kind of common example of which droplets gets mixes into the air when the person is sneezing or coughing. So let us have a look on the table which will give us more information about the disease which are caused by viruses. So here is a table which gives us information about some common diseases which are caused by viruses. So the first column indicates name of diseases. The second column indicates mode of transmission. That means through which source these diseases can be transmitted. Third column indicates what are the symptoms of that particular disease. Fourth and the last column indicates what are the preventions and what treatment can be done in order to cure that disease. So here is the first type of disease, mumps. And the mode of transmission for this disease is droplets infection, direct contact from an article used by the patient. Symptoms of this disease are painful swelling of parotid glands. The prevention and treatment is isolation of a patient can be done and the vaccine of mumps can be used. The next disease is polio. Mode of transmission for polio is contaminated food or water, spread of diseases through the waste matter excreted. Symptoms of polio are limbs and muscles get paralyzed. Prevention and treatment for polio can be isolation of the patient, proper disposal of waste matter, and the vaccination. The next type of disease is rabies. Mode of transmission of rabies can be saliva by the bite of a dog, cat, bat, etc. Symptoms for rabies are fear from water, and the prevention and treatment for rabies can be immunization of dogs and other pet animals, a series of anti-rabies injections after the bite.
Cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, and chronic respiratory diseases are known as non-communicable diseases. In recent years, these diseases have increased as a result of population aging, urbanization, globalization, and changes in lifestyles, and they've become the great epidemic of our age. Non-communicable diseases can largely be prevented by adopting a healthy lifestyle, but to do so requires more than simply personal determination. For example, when wholesome food is more expensive and less available than junk food. When physical activity is a challenge because the parks and recreation areas are not safe or properly equipped. Or when it's hard to quit smoking or drinking because advertising of these products seems to be all around us. That is why laws and regulations are needed to make the healthy choice the easiest choice. Without these laws and regulations, more and more people will develop a non-communicable disease and need lifelong treatment that could ruin them financially. But there's still time to stop this epidemic from growing, and some countries in the Americas have already taken action by, for example, reformulating processed foods to make them healthier, informing consumers about the nutrition content of packaged foods, making more fresh foods available, regulating the sale of junk food in schools, as well as providing free drinking water, increasing taxes on tobacco, alcohol, and sugar-sweetened beverages, facilitating access to quit smoking programs, banning tobacco use in enclosed public spaces, and limiting the advertising of cigarettes, alcohol, and junk food. Creating opportunities for physical activity, including creating recreational bicycle paths and promoting the use of public transportation. Governments should ensure access to health services for its population, including access to early detection of disease, diagnosis, medicines, and treatment provided without discrimination and without undue financial hardship. People should be provided with information and support that empowers them to manage their own health, giving them greater control over their health and contributing to the health of their families. This way, all together, we can stop this terrible epidemic from getting worse and enjoy longer, more productive lives. Healthy public policies and healthy lifestyles are the prescription to prevent and control non-communicable diseases.